It's been a couple of seasons since we saw George McPhee at Boca Raton at the general managers meetings. But now as the newly minted GM of the Vegas Golden Knights, he is back. And today, David Amber caught up with George McPhee.
George, you're back in the saddle. Welcome back to the NHL in this capacity. Is there going to be a rookie dinner? That's what everyone wants to know. Do you have to be on the line for that tonight?
Not that I know of. I'm not springing for that.
Well, that's good. What was it like, though, to be reintegrated with this group of guys?
It's like meeting an old friend and realizing 15 seconds later that nothing's changed between you.
And what about the most important thing that was discussed today? What would you say that was?
Well, we sort of blue skied things and just talked about a bunch of different things, more futuristic things, like what do we think the game is going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Not real current events, but sort of brainstorm, and then we'll take all those things and refine them and discuss them again tomorrow.
How different is it for you, though, because you're in a unique situation, building a team from scratch? Have you been a bit of a power broker here as far as everyone's trying to get their ducks in a row for the expansion draft?
That hasn't started here, and I don't know that there's going to be a lot of that here. We had a lot of discussions over the trade deadline, and I would imagine here it's going to be about league business, and then when the seasons are over for individual clubs, that's when they're going to want to talk again.
And how busy were you last week? Because, again, with the trade deadline and the ability to make deals and to sort of get things in order.
It was much busier than I anticipated, more intense than I anticipated. We talked to a number of clubs, and probably half a dozen a lot, and we'll pick it up here again when their seasons are over and see where it leads.
George, it's a unique challenge building a team from scratch, very different than your prior jobs in the NHL. What's the biggest challenge you face in doing that?
I thought the biggest challenge was really trying to get our staff together to get out scouting, to vet and hire an entire pro staff and vet and hire an entire amateur staff and get them equipped and out on the road as quickly as we did it was really, so far, the hardest thing we had to do, and it was the biggest hurdle. It was the first thing we did. So things have run actually pretty smoothly since then.
Finally, George, you see how young the league has gotten, how fast the league has gotten. What's the identity you're hoping to establish with the Golden Knights?
I'd like to have a club like the one we built in Washington that's got a little bit of everything. Lots of skill, can score, can defend well, good size, people that compete. I think if you want to win it all, you've got to be able to do a lot of things. But certainly, if you look at Chicago and Pittsburgh and the Detroit teams in the past, they won on skill and talent and goal scoring, and I'd like to do the same sort of thing.
Really appreciate your time, George.
Thank you, David.